In the previous two videos, I have uttered that CDS authority check comprises of both the DDL and the DCL. So DDL is data definition language and DCL is data control language. So in the DDL, you need to specify the access control annotation. So let's see how. So if you when you are defining a CDS view, so this is my CDS view. In the CDS view, I have to mention that access control authorization check hash check should be enabled. So this is the DDL part. Now in the DCL part, we will call the view. So here define role grant select on view name. So in this case, view name will be this view name ztm_fns. So this is the CDS entity view name. When we create the access control, we have to say which view you want to control the access for. So here select on, in this view name we have to give the gtm_fns, and then we will give the condition on which field you want the control to happen. Say the field name 1 and name 2 is nothing but material and plant, and then here you have to have the auth object for the material and auth object for the plant, and then their values. Okay, so don't worry, it's little confusing, but when we do the exercise, I'll show you how to create a DDL, means how to create a CDS view. Then we will learn how to create a DCL, that means how to create an access control, and then how to use this syntaxes to link the access control to a particular CDS. Let's go to the next slide. So this we have already said. So this is part of the data definition language. The authorization check annotation is part of the data definition language. Okay, creating a access control is same as creating a authorization check in the ABAP programs. With the DCL, we can give the instance level authorization, that is the data level or the row level or the granular level authorization, which is similar to the analytical privilege in HANA views. So the next point is with the CDS view, we can have row level security, and the CDS overall security is dependent on both the DDL and the DCL. So this is the DDL part, and we'll see the DCL part in the next slide. So this is the DCL. So this is the authority check from DCL. If you run a report against a CDS view and you do not have authority to view any particular value, the CDS will not return it. So based on your role and based on the values in the authorization object, you will be able to see the data. One of the good advantages of the data control language is that ABAPers or the programmers do not need to explicitly call the authority checks or do the authority checks in the program. So we can get rid of the authority checks in the program. Instead, you can define the access control in the CDS itself. So whichever program calls, based on who is calling that program, means the role assigned to the user who is running the program, the CDS will display the data. I tried to see if we can find the CDS access control in SU53. So this is the transaction which the security team will always ask when you say that I do not have access to a particular T code. He or she will say, send me the screenshot of SU53. And I tried to find it in SU53 and it did not show up. So I don't know if it shows up in the latest version, but the version which I checked, it did not show up. However, the access control can be seen in the ST05 trace, and this can be searched with the range underscore restriction in the where conditions. So you can see or find the access control objects in the ST05 trace. Last point we already discussed. So if you do not want the authority check to happen, then you just pass the annotation value as not allowed. So what it will do, even if you are restricted from looking into certain data based on your role, but if you define the annotation as not allowed, then it will not go and see the role. It will give you access to everything, means you will be able to see everything with the CDS pulls. So the not allowed annotation will bypass any roles, and it will not In fact, it will not go and look for any uh, access control roles which you have created. So it will give you a blanket authorization. I think these theories might have confused a lot. So there's too much of fundamentals or basics which I had to put in, and the jargons, the DCL, the DDL, and all the things. But do not worry, if you are confused till now, in the next exercise, we will create one by one. We'll step by step. So we will create a simple CDS view. We will set the authority check annotation to hash check. Then we will create a DCL for the CDS view. So these are two different objects. One is view, we are creating a CDS view, and the second is you have to create a access controls specifically. There are two different objects which are saved in the transport. Then we will create the authorization class, the authorization objects, and the fields in transaction SU21. So which the security team does for you till now, but you in this training we will learn how to create it by ourselves. Then we will create a PFCG role. Yes, the PFCG roles which the security team always created for you. In this tutorial, you will learn how to create yourself. And then once the PFCG role is created, we will generate a profile, and then we will grant or add the role to the user and then test the CDS view. So the coming exercises in the next session will be very interesting. So if you have a system ready, get ready with the system and try these exercises along with me.